Well, hello everyone, and welcome to your final week in review for cross-sectional anatomy. This is Module 8, Week 8. We have gone through the entire course. This is your final week. I got a lot of notes here today I wanted to hit on, so this might be a little bit longer week in review. I do think that this week will be a little bit we have a lot of things going on in our final week, so I don't want to say it's more complicated. I think probably week 3 was probably our most complicated and heavy week, but we have adjusted some things on the fly with this course. We've changed some due dates, so let's just kind of recap on everything. And I want to start by a recap of this course and looking at my notes here, kind of what you have accomplished in this course. If you think about it, over an 8-week period, you have read nearly 800 pages. You have gone through this entire textbook, which is actually the best textbook on sectional anatomy that we have been able to locate. So you've had over almost 800 pages of images and text and working through this book. So congratulations for you on that. So far, we review textbooks all the time, and as I mentioned, I think early on in this course, we have just switched to this textbook this semester. You're the first ones to use it. I've known about it for years and used a previous textbook for the times that we've taught this course, but I soon found that textbook was lacking. It did some things differently that I was hoping that would work out, in that it kind of goes slice by slice through the body, where this textbook doesn't, but it didn't really offer the depth. So we kept on supplementing all the time. This textbook will have all the depth you probably will ever need throughout your entire career. So it might be a keeper. If you're going to be heading towards the sectional modalities down the road, and most of you will, if you're going to stay in this career for a long period of time, you'll at least touch on it, or you may manage folks that are going to be in sectional imaging modalities, this may be a keeper. I do know it's expensive. The resale value on it should be very good, but maybe one you want to keep in your professional library. Also, you have gone over at least 100 different pathologies, conditions, traumatic injuries. That is in combination with what you've seen in the lectures, what you've seen in the textbook, and what you yourself have done through the MoveNote presentation. So you have had a tremendous exposure to a lot of pathologies, trauma, etc., that are imaged through sectional imaging. So congratulations on that. You've seen quite a bit. And some pretty unusual stuff, which is great. And then, of course, there's nothing wrong with revisiting the bread and butter exams that we do all the time and that we see in imaging quite frequently. So that's always good, too. You have gone through, wow, over 240 register-style questions, I should say registry-style questions, over the course of this course. So that is a lot of exposure to questions, far more than will be presented on any post-primary registry should you go forward with that. Then kind of moving on with the MoveNotes. Again, I thought you guys did a really, really good job with MoveNotes, since that is the first time you've been exposed to any kind of, for some of you, that kind of technology. Only having maybe 3 instances of kind of, let's say, a technical impasse. But even that, all the impasses were resolved, and everybody was able to get their assignments in pretty much on time. So that, you did a great job with that. And I said the MoveNotes did look very, very good, kind of, again, in comparison to what we've seen students do in the past, which were pretty shaky. You guys did a really good job with that. And I think you'll just continue to improve with your MoveNote presentations, or just your general video presentations as you move through the program. They'll get even better. And the topic paper, again, that's kind of been an arcing project throughout the entire 8 weeks. The good news, I guess, you had a little extra time, gave you a little extra time to polish that up with the topic paper, so you'll be submitting that. Let me again briefly touch on that topic paper. I have been going through the drafts, and in general, everybody did a good to fine job on that. Some were a little lacking, but I'll give everybody kind of the benefit of a doubt, especially with the fact that we had that extra week thrown in there for you to polish up your topic papers. So I think everybody should be fine. If you did not receive an email from me, assume that you should be okay. It was only folks that I saw something kind of really tragically wrong that I sent an email to, kind of saying, hey, you may want to point this in a little bit different direction, try to capture all the points for this particular project. But so if you didn't receive any email from me, you're okay. Again, some were great. Some of the drafts were absolutely spot on. I know that it was a draft, and some people put more effort than others into it. So I gave you a little bit of leeway, a pretty generous leeway on that particular assignment. So again, no email from me. Assume that you're okay, and plus you have that extra week to polish it up. So your final should be just pretty much putting your little crowning touches on this week and submitting it to the Dropbox. Discussions. We've had a ton of discussions. I lost count of the number of postings. We're over 500 postings. You guys did a really, really, really good job on the discussions. What I really appreciated throughout the entire class, and some of you really brought some very touching and insightful dialogue to the presentations when you're responding back to the MoveNote presentations. Some of you had particular things that have shown up in your family, that you've seen with patients, how you interacted with those patients with those various maladies that we were going over. Did a really, really good job in that. So that's what we like in the discussion. Just bring something to it. If it's something you've seen or you've come in contact with, that really adds. We learn as a whole, and I learn as well by reading those discussions. So thank you for those that really put the effort and participated in that. But you guys did a good job. Ton of discussions throughout the 8 weeks. Also, now kind of moving on, we've recapped what we've done in the class. Again, great job this week. One thing to draw your attention to in the course news, I did put some current research in there. We have hitting the shores of America are the 640 slice scanners. This is amazing technology. So please take a moment to read that PDF that's in the course news. Keep abreast of changes that are happening within the medical imaging field. That is very important. And we're going to give you some more information as you go through the program. But one of the things you really need to do is stay abreast of change. Be ahead of the curve. Know what's happening in the imaging field so you're not blindsided. We want you to be prepared for the future. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but we do have some tools that can help us navigate what that might look like in the future, so at least we can have a plan. And one of those is staying current with industry trends. You may not be working on a 640 slice scanner someday, or you may be, but you may be managing a department, or you may be looking someday in the future that you'll be part of a RFP to purchase one of those types of scanners. So at least know that those are on the horizon. It is just going to increase more slices, more data, more imaging per revolution of the CT tube, which you'll learn later on. But very exciting stuff. So I'll give you kind of my ideas about staying abreast with industry change in the following courses. But take a moment and read that article. Very interesting stuff. You won't be tested on it, but again, trying to keep you aware of industry trends. And then now let's talk about this week. This week, of course, your topic paper is due. We've already talked about that. Again, if you didn't get an email from me, I gave you, some of the folks that were a little bit weaker on the draft, give you the benefit of the doubt, especially with that extra week, that you're going to be just okay. Again, if you didn't get an email, you should just press forward and you should be just fine. We're going to have a quiz this week on the lower extremity. Same old typical MO. It'll be 30 questions. You kind of know how that works. The biggest change for this week is that you have a final, and it's going to be a kind of a whopper. It'll be, well, it's not too bad. I guess you'd say it's 120 questions, which is pretty much the norm. You're going to have about 100. Usually most finals you have 100-something questions. You have 120 questions. But what I want you to know is that the format is going to be slightly changed. So you're not surprised when you click Start Quiz that I didn't pull a fast one on you. I want you to know what the format changes are, and I've posted that in a couple spots, and we're going to talk about it here. You have 120 questions. None of the questions are new. All of them are questions you've seen in your quizzes. So go back and study your quizzes. Now, the other big change here is that the time, I'm going to crank the time down a little bit. So you probably have noticed a little clock icon that's appeared right by my head somewhere. I actually put it in post-production, so I don't know which side it's going to be on, but you saw the clock icon appear. That icon has been here for now 1 minute. 1 minute's a pretty long time. It's more than enough time to read a question and to look at the answer. Especially if you know the answer, you'll be fine. So you're going to be given 1 minute per question. Again, these are not new questions. They're all questions that you've seen in previous quizzes. But know that you are time limited, so you can't look up every question. Some questions you'll get in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, like, oh, I remember that question, boom. And of course, then you can kind of bank time as you're going through. Here's the other big change about the final, is that you will not be allowed to go backwards. So once you've entered a question and you submit, boom, you move on to the next question. As you know now, you can only see one question at a time. But the change is now you're going to see one question at a time, but can't go backwards. So pretty much answer it to your best ability and move on. So because you can't go back and get into it. Again, should not be a problem. You have all of your old quizzes. You have basically the entire test is available to you. Study those old questions. And I think we've gotten rid of all of the bad questions. I think we've had maybe a total of 6 bad questions throughout the entire thing, which isn't too bad for me, considering we're doing everything from scratch because of the new textbook. So thank you for your patience and helping me identify those bad questions. I think I've eliminated all those ones that you brought my attention to. But know that you cannot go backwards in the final. So less time, can't go backwards. All right. And then lastly, we might have a move note, one more move note. Unfortunately, I missed Chelsea's link. So Chelsea, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I have not found the link within our little drop area that we were putting it. So Chelsea's going to hopefully get that link to me so we can view her final move note. Not her fault, mine. I really don't know where the link is at. I found everybody else's links, but I can't find hers. So please, later on this week, jump into that move note. Hopefully we'll get that figured out. And if I have one more move note for you for a very, very brief discussion for this week. So that is pretty much it. I wanted to thank everybody for being really, really good. You've been a very good group. We've brought a lot of kind of diverse talents. We've got senior CT techs, nuke med folks. We've got new radiography students. We've got people who've been out there for decades. I think it's great that you're all mixing together. A lot of good diversity, and you bring a lot to this course. And I think I'll see many of you in the next course, which will be Advanced Patient Care. But remember, whatever course you're taking next, if you have any questions or problems, since I'm the chair of the program, you can always feel free to contact me. I think you know all the ways to do that. So again, thank you for participating and having a fantastic course. And as always, thank you for watching.